a lot of heat. Now they're going down into the crystalline core of the earth, and what they're showing me is the womb of the earth. So what we're doing with this, where is it, with the hemp, is the hemp is like a staple crop that's actually from just people taking it, just people using it, just people acknowledging it now and allowing it to bloom and come forward. It's healing the womb of the earth just from the energy of it. And they're showing me like people are becoming very grounded from it, especially because of the second chakra. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, because what they're telling me too, even though the physical receptors are in the womb, that the men have the hara, and so the hara, it's 4 fingers below the belly button. This would be the womb space for the woman, but it's the hara in the men. And so it's actually igniting your hara, okay? So it's not this exclusive thing that's limited only to women. So the uterus and the hara are all being fed, and they keep on showing me, God, I got a pain in my head. So there's a lot of damage that's been done to the earth, and they're showing me like that the crystalline core of the earth, there's like something that's gone deeply down in that is now being transmuted. It's a darkness, an energy, but it's also, it almost feels like pollution. It almost feels physical. And they're showing me, what's it called? Is it fracking?
Yes.
As that goes deep down into the earth's core, they're showing me the damage. That's the damage from the fracking, okay? So we're using this oil and just using the plant spirits and using any kind of sacred medicine, sacred plant medicine, we're actually helping to like reverse and transmute, at least right now, the energetic. They're saying the actual physical can be reversed. Oh my God, that's freaking awesome. The actual damage can be reversed from the fracking. Okay? So even they're saying do not lose hope. They're saying do not lose hope that the planet will recover from that. And even though they're showing me like big, like bulldozery things going into big holes in the earth, like I don't know if that's what they used to frack with, but they're like, no, it's like that's gonna go away. So that's kind of like, it's almost like she's taking the equipment that's hurting her and she's actually like transmuting it. She's transforming it. So even though it's going down in the earth, it's not like, it's buried and it's done and it's gone. It's like, no, it's going into Mama Earth to be renewed, recycled, and be healed so that it can blossom. And then they're showing me like beautiful, it's almost like a grave. They're showing me a grave where seeds have been planted and the flowers are blossoming. And I'm from back east, and so what they're showing me is like crocuses. And the crocus was always the first sign of spring back east, if you're from the northeast especially. So the crocuses are coming up. So there is this energy of renewal, and they're like so happy that we're doing this on 1/1. They're like, oh yeah, because we want to talk about renewal, so this is perfect on 1/1. This new beginnings, this rebirth that's happening through the big uterus of the earth, through the mother planet of the earth. And curiously enough, they're showing me, we have this dynamic that's going on through the lineage, because the lineage starts on the female side with Goddess Hathor, and this is who I chose this morning. My other card that I chose is Mary Magdalene too, that's on my altar. So those ladies have been with us, they're with us today for sure. Those beautiful goddesses and ascended masters are with us today. And so what they're saying through what I'm getting through the goddess energy is that they are they're showing me, okay, so we have this uterus, this womb in Mother Earth, which is the feminine, but there's also like a hara in the sky with the masculine energy. And so these 2 points are really holding a lot of space for energetic healing to occur. Okay? And then Hathor, and Hathor is part of the rose lineage, which is what this lineage is. And they want me to go back, and I know I've said this to some of you because I saw this earlier, but they're like, okay, you got to repeat this. That this lineage is what we're seeing off-planetarily from Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And this morning they were showing me that, Jesus and Mary Magdalene off-planetary aspects are Sananda and Lady Nada. So they're also, those 2 guides are involved. But the big grandmother of it all is Hathor, and Hathor has brought knowledge into Isis, and Isis goes through Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, and then Lady Nada too, and that's the lineage, the female lineage on that side. And so she is off planetary, and they're telling me that she's also part of she's giving Chris Shade the download.
Hathor.
That Hathor is one. No, she's like, there's a big team, because look at Thelma. They're like, okay, Thelma drew the Council of Light card. So the Council of Light card is all these different lineages coming together as one. And so they're like, okay, so the Jesus and Mary Magdalene Hathor Rose lineage is like the one who's the big guns, but they're like, they've got all these other lineages that are supporting them, and it's like sub roles. That's the word that they're using, is sub roles, okay? And they're getting back to the lineage. Now, what I was shown from the time I saw this was that there's a tree trunk, okay? And that's the Rose lineage, and that's Jesus and Mary Magdalene lineage. But the fleur-de-lis, they show me a tree in the shape of a fleur-de-lis. So there are these two other lineages at least that are coming off of this. And like in the fleur-de-lis, what happens is that's a sign of Mary Magdalene, because when her descendants spread through Europe, one of those branches is Italy, one of those branches is France, and the other one is Scotland. So there's also this fleur-de-lis effect through the family tree of this lineage that is coming through the hemp oil. Oh, okay, and they're going down. Now they're actually focusing specifically on the plant spirits. So we've got that big, like, Father Sky Hara, we've got the uterus, we got Mama Earth, and then we have all the off-planetary effects. But they're like, oh, the hemp is what meets in the middle. So the hemp is what meets in the middle. So the hemp itself, they're saying the plant itself receives the Hara, divine masculine, when it's being, bathed in sunlight, and that the roots in the earth are receiving that universe. They're saying universal womb wisdom of Mama Gaia, okay? And it meets in the plant. And they're okay, this is blowing my mind. They're telling me that the hemp is a gift from this off-planetary society, and it was planted here by them. And they've been waiting up for us to rediscover it. Mm-hmm. And so we're in this process of rediscovering it right here, right now. Also, too, there's something else around that, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're going back and they keep on showing me the trees. They're saying that this tree is an actual tree that I'm seeing. Like this tree of life that they're showing me image is an actual tree. Mm-hmm. And so that's all they'll go into. But they're saying that the hemp plant is here to feed the earth, to allow the earth to be fed. And to be fed through its multi-purposes, too. Okay? They wanted to say something about ayahuasca earlier.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're bringing ayahuasca into this. I've never done ayahuasca, just so you all know. Mm-hmm. So I don't have any direct... Yeah. I'm trying to draw a card around this. Excuse me. Okay. Here we go. Oh, ooh, this is kind of fascinating. I got the no card. So, the no, it's a pause, it's a wait, postpone. So around the ayahuasca, it's like it's giving me the message that, like, almost like it's time, bless you. It's almost like it's time it's done in a way. Where it was an opening, it was an opening, okay? Mm-hmm. And so it's allowing all these other plant medicines to come through. So it was the gateway for them to come through. Oh, and they're showing me they're showing me the plant spirits of the ayahuasca kind of going back to Mother Earth.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they're showing one of my, I had friends who have been doing it in Cusco for quite a while. I also have another friend who was doing it on Machu Picchu last December. And they're showing me like the Machu Picchu, they're showing me Machu Picchu. And the thing about the Machu Picchu is that it's like the energy, the sacred geometry that was set up at Machu Picchu around this was set up for the gateway for the ayahuasca. But if there's a shift, they're not telling me exactly what it is. It isn't like to be, I guess it's to be revealed. But they're showing me Machu Picchu, you know, it's grounded here in the earth, but then they're showing me the actual building shift. And in that shift of the building, that's like moving it into the next phase of what plant medicines are here to serve the planet. Okay?
Interesting. Right. Feels good.
Okay? Okay. So, and they're like that's yet to be revealed, but they want us to know that shift. And it's almost like they're showing me like a something sundial-y Machu Picchu. I've never been to Machu Picchu. I've never even been to South America. But it's almost like a sundial where the sun's going to hit another part of the dial. And so that's this shift also in the actual, like the building. And the energy of it is an earthquake energy that's going to shift it, but it's not going to be an actual earthquake in and of itself. It's going to be more paradigm that'll shift it. And yeah, that's what they're saying. And they're saying, so there's a definite, there's a Kundalini, because they talk about the Kundalini being in South America now. So that's definitely a Kundalini point, but they're also going back to India. India is definitely a part of this lineage. That's why there's so many Hatha yogis, so many Kundalini yogis involved in the business too. And also so many Christians that are involved in the business too because of Jesus. Jesus and Mother Mary are definitely bringing them in too. And so they're building a rainbow bridge of all these different lineages, all these different people. This is the fleur-de-lis, they're saying the fleur-de-lis tree, okay? The fleur-de-lis tree is the grounded major lineage of it all. But they're like, we're building the rainbow community. We're actually building a rainbow bridge for all of us to ascend to the fifth dimension, and we do that by building the rainbow community and bringing people of all backgrounds together, and that's part of creating this peace and this harmony on earth through the use of the plant. Through the use of the plant. And it's and of course we're channeling specifically through this plant, but it's also all of the sacred plants. And they're saying you're reaching this point where on this earth plane that you can actually receive and remember. That's the thing. Remember what this did for you 5, 10, 20,000 years ago. And they're saying too, for people specifically, very specifically in this room, that you will remember what this plant did when you were traversing the universe in your little spaceship, okay? And on your own little home planet. Wow. Okay? So there's definite guides in this room who are off-planetary benevolent guides of pure unconditional love, that if they're not already communicating with you, they will be communicating with you, okay? So just know that. They want to go back to this remembering because, the sacred plants, where I was watching this documentary called The Sacred Plant, and there is a doctor who was so jazzed about the endocannabinoid system. He's like, this just can't be 30 years. This has to be show up someplace else. And so he did he had a picture of the endocannabinoid, and then he made like a slide of the Chinese medicine meridians, and he put one on top of the other, and they exactly matched. Wow. Okay. So, and we know that Chinese medicine was not the beginning because it came from Ayurveda. So we know that these ancient, we're saying we know that these ancient methods already knew about the endocannabinoid system. And so in that knowingness of the endocannabinoid system, they knew how to feed it. And just like, going into the Kali Yuga, going into our dark ages, going into this time on the planet, the Piscean Age, that knowledge went underneath and is kind of skimming the surface. And just like the uterus in the center of the earth, just like this knowledge in the center of the earth, it's beginning to bloom. It's going to be time for it to bloom. They're telling me that the history of medicine is changing right here, right now. Wow. I'm feeling like crying.
Yeah, I am too.
Like crying. And they are very specifically saying thank you for pointing out about women's health, because that's one of the things that's definitely going to be changing in medicine. Okay. I do want to share, because this is coming in and they're actually showing me this friend specifically, that I have a friend who is using the oil, and she's having huge second chakra and reproductive positive effects happening, that she's getting to the point of, and I hope this isn't too graphic, but she's getting to the point where she has vaginal discharge, that she's physically eliminating in lifetimes of stuff. Okay, so this is kind of where they just want to point that out. This is part of that
Healing.
That healing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gotten before that this could change the whole face of gynecology.
Mm-hmm.
Between that and bringing in the other old methods.
Mm-hmm.
So, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to diss them at all. Because, they're like, because Spirit is actually saying to me, all of these, they're going to focus on OBGYNs. All the OBGYNs that we've brought in, we brought them in because they are actually a part of our team, where they were like, it's time for us to kind of just close down and dive into the shadow side of medicine, and dive into the shadow side. Whether they're female or male, it doesn't make any difference. And I'm like, okay, it was like this little experiment that all of these souls decided to conduct, to come here and to be like, let's do an AMA, this American Medical Association.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, it was just part of the whole dynamic that we had to experience as humanity, to really be at this place now where we can really receive and acknowledge and be open to other ways of doing things. And they said that, especially with the OBGYN with women, in all lifetimes, is about our empowerment. We're taking the power back of our own body. And they're very specifically telling me we're not leaving the men in this room out of that, because these men are in this room right here, right now, because you've had lifetimes where you have been subjugated physically as a woman. And so this is part of the healing of it all. Okay. Yeah, they're just about complete, and they want, what do I do with Mama Hathor? Oh, here she is. Yeah, they're going back to her. She's like, I don't even know what the card says. Bathe in sound healing frequencies. Okay. So, I can't even hear that, but okay.
Good.
Yeah, okay, that's all part of it. So bathing in sound healing frequencies. So in the sound healing frequency, everyone just take that as a note that you want to go home and use that, whatever kind of music it is that is coming through, know that it is helping. Oh, and I meant to say this earlier when we were talking about like how to bless the oil. I've gone through periods where I actually do I have tinctures. And I do the tinctures, or you can use a gong, you can use a bowl, you can use you can also do that. I also have a gong CD playing in the other room, so I gong a lot of my stuff. So also using that vibration directly with the oil. The oil really likes any kind of sound healing vibration. And you'll know through your own intuition what your personal plant spirit wants, they're telling me. So just tune into it, okay? Okay. Yeah, and they're showing me, for all of you who have gardens, it's like the same thing with the garden. You want to go out to your gardens and like take a little crystal bowl or tincture, or it'd be tough to take a gong out there unless you have a real small one. And you can use that in your gardens too for your plants, because right now the vibration is allowing for this attunement to, the reason it's coming through now is because of all the pesticides. Like the sound current is going to undo damage from pesticides and from the GMO kind of stuff that's going on. Okay? So just know that. Just know that. Okay, they're complete. If anyone has, I don't know how much time we have left. If anyone has a question,